Hello guys, and welcome to a tutorial-like conceptual video of Minecraft. Right now I'm on a faction server that I used to play on, and it's really old, but I built what I call the super farm up there. You see most of it. It takes a long time to build, but it's great for faction servers, especially if you want to have to claim land that's around, and it goes all the way up. This took about six little squares of land, so it's really all vertical. It only takes about four chunks if you position it right, and you can make it as big as you want, and you can go completely vertical all the way up and down. So I'm going to go ahead and hop into another world and start showing you guys how to do all this. Right now I'm really far below it, so you can't really see much, but I'm going to go over everything in just a second, so don't worry. So here's basically what you saw in the faction server, is this little setup here. It's got an iron farm at the bottom. There were three of them, one under the ocean, one in the middle, and one up top, and everything was above the top one, so it went up to world limit. And these are meant for planting wheat, carrots, potatoes, all the singular plants that you can fit on a 9 by 9 square. There are four 9 by 9 squares and a middle section. This entire thing is 22 by 22, and it fits just over an iron farm with one piece hanging over, which means that the doors will still work on the outside. So you have nothing to worry about if your farm doesn't work. Just make sure that nothing hangs over 5 blocks out. So that's still going to make the iron farm work. You can layer this up like this. Lighting is not a problem as long as you have glowstone or jack-o'-lanterns or a mixture of the two. You can pretty much take out these little cross sections in here that are made out of planks. You can take those out and make it 20 by 20, but I don't see a reason to do that. And it's a lot easier to separate all four of them with water and everything. All you have to be careful of, though, is the water, because, I don't know, you don't really have to. It's just you want a block under it or a slab or something, and you might want to put a lily pad or something over the water that's already there, just to make sure you have enough so nothing falls through, I mean. And you can make any way to get up or down, either a stationary water elevator using ice and melting it, or ladders like this. And iron golems will still fall down the ladders. So that's always nice. Over here is a special kind of not really tested version of a mushroom farm. It can be stacked up as vertical and as high as you want it to be, and it's really good mushroom farm. I fit 12 on this space here, which is insane because it's also, I think this one's 20, oh, it's less than 20 by 20, so it's 18 by 18, and I've fit 12 mushroom farms on here. These are really hard to explain. Maybe I'll make a video for it later. I'll describe some timers that you can use to set them off and everything. But these aren't really finished. Over here I have the layout of how each mushroom farm is set up. You can see, I think it's like 16 by 16 or something like that. You can, if you look at it, you can pretty much figure it out, but I don't want to go over that in too much detail. The mushroom farm, I doubt you'll ever be using, even though it is a perfectly AFK zero maintenance farm. I think it takes too long to set up, and most servers, if you're selling the plants and stuff, they won't sell for that much, even though they are mushrooms, and they sell by the stack, so it's probably not going to be very efficient. But you can stack these up as high as you want. But how they work is a little weird. Up here, I have a little demo set up. It's made out of glass, but you really can't make these out of glass because mushrooms can't grow on glass. So, yeah, you just need a bunch of solid blocks instead of glass. And I put mycelium down, but you can just have it a dark space and put some dirt down, or any block really. As long as you can put a mushroom down, it's okay. And what you want to do is have the mushroom surrounded by blocks in this little 3 by 3 area, and then surrounded by walls also. And the mycelium has a completely empty space around it. It's really hard to see because it's glass, I know, I'm sorry. But this isn't really my design, so I can't really say much about it. But how it works is that you'll get like a piston or something to release water right here, and it'll clear out all the mushrooms in a layer, and then on the opposite end, drop down and clear out all the mushrooms, drop down, and it'll just alternate corners like that until it finally reaches the bottom where I have chests set up, and it'll carry mushrooms all the way down. It's not very complicated, but it is really tedious and hard to build. Here, I'll make an example. If you put down a mushroom here, and you were to put down some water or have some water flow into it, but it'll eventually be carried all the way down to the chest down here. So in the end, you'll end up with your mushrooms all the way down there. It'll take a while though, especially when it gets caught in certain spots. So that's pretty much it for the mushroom farm. I'm pretty sure you can look up tutorials for the stacked mushroom farm. It's not very hard, and when you're down here, all you have to know is that funneling all the mushrooms with with a few hoppers is really hard. You have these two going into this one, and same for all the sides. These two go into this one, these two go into this one, and all the corners lead diagonally down into this chest, and so on. Also really annoying, also pretty hard, but it's worth it, I guess, if you really want to farm mushrooms and be like the only person with a giant mushroom farm. And it's completely stackable vertically, and that's really nice. And all of these farms, keep in mind, have a 2x2 hole in the middle that iron golems can drop down, because this entire concept is to have an iron farm and have these in between, and it's completely vertical. You're farming so many things at once, and it's great. So on to the next part. This is like the wheat farm and the carrot and potato farm over there, but it's just meant for pumpkins and melons. Pumpkins are my favorite thing to plant and grow, but I don't know why. Followed by sugarcane. They are probably the easiest ones just because they're self-planting, and you don't really have to put much maintenance work into it. All you have to do is throw a line down the middle if you really want to. You can even plant crops in these if you made it dirt and just wanted to plant some wheat in those. If you really wanted to use your space wisely, you could do that, but I don't do that ever. It's just frustrating, especially when you have all that land over there. You don't need an extra 4 per square. So this is pretty much all you have to do. It's the same watering system, 4 blocks on each side, and then pumpkin plants on the outside 2 of each section, just to get the best effects. So over here, I'm pretty sure you can guess what this is for. The only thing Soul Sand's really useful for, and that's growing netherwort, but I've never been on a server where netherwort is very valuable, so I don't really care about it much. Up here, this is more of a concept. I wouldn't actually use this if I were you, but this is a cocoa bean farm just meant for quick harvesting. Replanting cocoa beans is always the hardest part, because harvesting, you can just throw down a water source right there, and obviously it'll harvest all of those. So that's really easy, but the planting is really hard. That's why I have all these sections set up, and they go down and all around. It's just basically like all the other ones before, but you have to be able to walk all the way around, and there's no land in the middle. And you just have to replant from here, and that's pretty lame, especially when there are 4 sides to every single log. It's a lot of space. I wouldn't make this very big, or I'd just make 1/4 of it go really far up, so then you don't have to do that much. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have fun building these. If you do, remember they take forever, and you need a pretty good harvesting team to really get through this many layers of anything. I remember in the end of that faction server, we just got so bored because all we did was harvest, and by the time we harvested the top layer, the bottom ones were already grown. So have fun not doing that. I've tested out some automatic designs for these farms, and they just do not work unless you have about 20 bajillion dispensers. So I wouldn't go for automatic designs at all. And then you still have to replant. It's just not worth it. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this helps. I hope you have a good time building these in factions. If you don't know what an iron farm is, I strongly suggest you look into it, because they're amazing and they work, and they just make the game so much more fun if you're playing factions, and you can sell iron and stuff. So like I said, that's it for today. See you guys next time.